General Allen, thank you for your extraordinary service, you and your family. And thank you also for one of the most compelling statements that I've ever heard here, which reflects sincerely your profound appreciation of and dedication to the men and women you lead.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to oversimplify, I think, what your operational challenges are, but they seem to be two in my mind. One is to be able to embed NATO advisors with Afghani forces as they take the lead, and second, be able to operate 24/7. In fact, be able to particularly operate in the evenings and night when we have tactical and technical advantages. Both of those issues have been shaken by the incidents and by some of the discussions in the last few weeks. First, with respect to the night raids, there has been some discussion of authorizing raids through Afghani judicial procedures and warrants, and which to me would seriously impede your ability, NATO's ability, and the Afghan military force's ability to operate. Is that something that's being seriously considered, and would it effectively undermine our ability to operate?
Senator, it's my intention with respect to the outcome of those negotiations for that memorandum of understanding on night operations that we not impede the contributions that those night operations make every single day in the battle space. Just as we are accomplishing transition in other areas, it is appropriate as time goes on and as Afghans take over a greater lead in its security operations that we would acknowledge the Afghan Constitution in that process as well. And as you recall, in Iraq, we ultimately went to a warrant-based system. That system was successful. It was successful because we were able to streamline the judicial process in ways that supported the operations rather than impeded the operations. Now, sir, we're just beginning the negotiations in this regard, and as you might imagine, they're pretty sensitive at this point. But I assure you that we will get this right. We won't get it fast. And the outcome will be night operations that continue to contribute to this campaign with Afghans deeply in the process, which is appropriate ultimately to the march towards sovereignty that we have undertaken, sir.
Let me just, for a bit of context, is it accurate to say that the Haqqani network, the Taliban, operate frequently at night, conduct attacks against NATO operations at night, in fact, would not be inhibited by potential impositions? Does that happen today?
The Haqqanis are operating 24 hours a day. Night operations are particularly valuable in neutralizing their networks and the other networks that we encounter, Al-Qaeda, the Hague, the Commander Nazir Group, Taliban.
Let me turn to the other issue of embedding American forces, NATO forces rather, more precisely NATO forces, particularly after the Panjwai incident. Has that given you pause to rethink how you will do this, not only in terms of the safety of NATO personnel, but the receptiveness of the Afghani security forces and local populations to small groups of NATO personnel operating with battalions and companies of the Afghani National Army?
It clearly is a potential challenge, Senator. You are correct in how you phrased that question. I'm going to watch this very closely. We've taken a lot of measures, obviously, to reduce what are known as green-on-blue attacks. I can go into greater detail about that should you desire, but it is something over which I'm significantly concerned. We're going to watch it very closely. I take heart in the success of the Afghan local police as potentially a model and an indicator of how this will unfold. Because as you know, across Afghanistan there are multiple tens of Afghan local police garrisons in which our special operators are embedded across the country. And in all of those, and there's well over 12,000 Afghan local police, there has yet to be an attack on any one of our Green Berets, SEALs, or Marines. So if it's done right, and I believe we will do this correctly, obviously, I think that we can continue the process of embedding our security force assistance platforms and our advisors into these formations, undertaking the measures for protection that we now have underway, sir.
Thank you.